Well, I love a great water feature, and watering gardens is an essential part of a landscape. Now, today's show, The Garden Gurus, is all about making gardening easy. And we've got some great ideas coming up for you. Here's what's coming up on today's show. No dig, no worries. I've got your soil rejuvenation covered. Busting to plant some bulbs, Linda gets her soil ready for flowering success. And say bye-bye to those prickly bindi with Nigel's 10-minute solution. Now, I wanted to share something truly remarkable that's going on in my garden at the moment. That could be happening in yours. This is one of my favourite trees. It is the golden robinia. It's got the most gorgeous golden foliage, and it produces these lovely little pink racemes of flowers at a certain time of the year. They really are just a gorgeous tree. It is, however, not very vigorous on its own roots, so it's grafted onto a wild robinia rootstock. It's called the black locust robinia, and it's not the sort of plant you want growing in your garden. This is it down here, and you can see the thorns that it's got. It is hideous, and it'll start popping up everywhere if you don't pull it away and get control. Now, that's easy enough to do. Pull it away, don't cut it with secateurs, otherwise you'll encourage more regrowth. But what do? When the roots take off, run through the garden bed, go up a rock wall and into a limestone garden bed and start growing. So look at this thing. It is incredible. This is a sucker off a root that came from that tree all the way over there. And if I don't pull this out now, it really is going to be a problem. It is the same treatment as I suggested before. You've got to get down, which is quite difficult because this thing's got awful thorns on it, and you literally have to pull it out of the ground. You can't leave it in there. Now, it didn't bring a lot of root system out with it, so it's likely it's going to pop up again. And I'm just going to have to keep doing this until it runs out of energy and steam, but this is the last thing you want popping up in your garden, so you do need to make sure you pull them out. Now, this is a tree that everybody should have in their backyard. It is the lemon, and lemon trees are so versatile and they grow just about everywhere. Now, this particular lemon, Eureka, was first developed back in California in 1858. It's derived from an Italian variety, and the Italians had had lemons since 200 AD. The Egyptians had had them 700 years before that, and they're believed to have originated from northwest India and then were dispersed by traders right across Central Asia. Eureka is the most popular variety in Australia, but you can see whilst its fruits are large and the tree is big and crops almost continuously, it may be a bit too big for the smaller blocks many of us live on these days. Now, this is probably my #1 recommendation when it comes to varieties. It's a form called Lemonicious. Now, it's a type of male lemon. Now, they're a beautiful smooth skin lemon, and they produce the most wonderful volumes of juice. So if you want lemon juice, this is the one to go for. Lemonicious. It only gets to 1.5 to 2 metres in height with a 2 metre spread. Loves a bright sunny spot and produces crops once a year in the autumn. The biggest challenge when growing citrus is ensuring that they're supplied with the right nutrients. They are hungry and they have a complex diet, so you have to continuously feed them and supplement the mineral base in the soil. Look for a specialist citrus fertiliser, as it has extra nutrients that are very important to citrus, like iron. See these leaves? They're starting to show signs that they're deficient in iron. The dark veins in the foliage is a classic example. Now is not so much the time of the year to be harvesting citrus. Sure, you'll get lemons and limes, but really it's the winter time when you're getting lots of citrus coming through. And of course, that's when your body needs vitamin C. If you're thinking about starting with your first citrus trees, maybe in pots or in the ground, well, this next 3-month period is the time to be planting citrus. And if you want to know where to get your citrus trees or get some more advice, head to a specialist fruit grower.
Hi, Tracy Bow here from 9 News. I can't believe the Garden Gurus is turning 20 this year. Well done, Trevor Cochrane and the Guru team for 2 decades on national television. What an achievement. Thanks for all your gardening advice, and also I can't wait to get back into your garden again, Trev. And over the years, here's to many more. Cheers to you.
In the last 12 to 18 months, we've been adding a lot of new plants to the garden in the hope to fill it out, but also to add colour and contrast, and also to have flowers that will bloom at different times of the year. And autumn is a spectacular time of year, and it's a really good time to also replenish and nurture our plants in our garden. In garden beds where the previous season's mulch has done its job, it's time to replenish it by adding a new thick layer around the base of plants. This will not only suppress weeds that are sure to be making an appearance, it will also break down and condition the soil too. With a lot of strong growth over the last few seasons, I'm finally ready to give some of these plants a trim. And if you've been waiting for the perfect time to prune branches off some trees or cut back some shrubs, autumn is the perfect time to be doing any of this work. With many of the trees around the property, our aim is to have no low-bearing branches. This way we can easily mow around them, but we also look out for any that are crossing over or overcrowding an area. This way we can get some nice sunshine and rain down to those plants beneath. If you're trying to cut through thicker branches, the GTA 26 pruner is one of my go-to tools, as it makes it so much easier instead of having to hand saw through branches. And it means all this pruning work will be done a lot faster. Here's a handy tip when you're using this pruner: make sure to use 2 hands, that way you get really good control and you get a nice clean cut every single time. And the benefit of a good cut is that you won't get any bacteria, fungal or even pest problems settling in. If you have some long branches, they can be quite useful. You can pop them through a mulcher to make wood chips and put them back into the garden. Or you can reuse them to make plant supports for your veggies or even climbers. One of the last steps is to give your garden a really good feed, and this will help any depleted soils and those plants that are showing little signs of nutrient deficiencies. And with these simple steps, your garden will be really set up for all future growth. Discover the full range of all your gardening tools at your local Stihl dealer.
The story of fertilizers is a fascinating tale, which kicked off in the early years of World War I, when a pair of scientists named Haber and Bosch discovered and then developed a way to pull nitrogen out of the atmosphere and turn it into ammonia, a vital element in fertilizers. Initially, this ammonia was used to create explosives, which were used extensively in both World War I and II. When peace came in 1945, the ammonia was then used to create fertilizers, and this sparked a green revolution which fed the planet for decades. In recent years, we've begun to see the downside of the excessive use of these high nitrogen fertilizers, particularly its effect on soil life and on the food that we eat, as measured by the vitamin and mineral content. Time for the next revolution. I call this biological gardening, and fertilizers such as Triforte M are leading the way. Instead of burning up soil life, these brown granules seek to nurture and even add to this life with their number and diversity. This technology uses 24 strains of beneficial Australian cultured soil microbes and up to 60 different essential minerals. This truly is working with Mother Nature to gradually build real soil fertility. So, how do you use it? Well, this all-purpose blend is a great buy during the autumn months because the entire garden needs a feed, and you can apply it to your lawns with a lawn fertiliser spreader. Now, my orchard's ready to kick into autumn growth and to build flavour in fruits, in this custard apple, as well as the citrus. This rose hedge has put on a spurt of summer growth after a hard trim. Feeding now will enhance the next flower show. Now is the perfect time to start up the veggie patch because autumn, winter and spring are the easiest seasons to grow your vegetables. Now sprinkle a bit of the microbe-rich fertiliser over the surface and just work it in very lightly like that. And then you can start planting. The secret of success here is to stick with the same plant food year after year, because every application gradually improves and restores the health of your soil.
Huge congrats to the Garden Gurus on your 20 years on Channel 9. That is 800 episodes, something like that. Huge achievement.
The weekend is finally here and I can get into the garden and get some of those chores done. There's no stress, no phone. It's my kind of active meditation. And the first job is deadheading. Agapanthus have been stunning this summer, and I've been collecting hybrid agapanthus in sort of blue, smoky purple colours for years. These hybrids are sterile, which means they don't produce seed, which is really good for gardeners near bushland areas. I love varieties like Guilfoyle, Margaret Ollie, Purple Cloud and Amethyst. But now it's time to remove the entire flower heads to tidy them up and pull off some yellowing leaves too if you see them. My next job is to clean up these kangaroo paws. These have been magnificent through spring and summer, but all of these old, ratty, dead heads have to be removed from way back down low. And while you're there, you can also clean up some of those black leaves. Another job you can do at this time is to actually dig up each piece and divide them. One of my favourite tips when dividing kangaroo paw is actually just to pull out one of these old flower stems and you've got a whole separate plant down the bottom. So remove the old leaves, and I like to just sort of snip it around with my Wolf Garden scissors, and then you've got the old stem and then a whole new plant that can be planted somewhere else in your garden. Autumn is bulb planting time. All the spring bulbs go in now. It's such a great time of year. And I'm in a little subtropical zone, so I'm choosing warm climate bulbs like these gorgeous Tritilia, jonquils, anemones and daffodils. I'm going to use a really handy bulb planter by Wolf Garden, and that'll make the job so much easier. These bulbs will emerge in winter to herald spring, providing flower and fragrance. You can plant spring bulbs in terracotta pots, giant copper pots or vintage pots, but here I'm massing a variety of white flowering bulbs into the garden edge to look spectacular come spring. Along with all the fun jobs, there's weeding. Weeding's the constant. I like to say that gardening is 99% weeding and 1% creativity. But this Wolf Garden tool with its interchangeable heads makes the job so much easier and really helps to save my back. Now it's time to throw a few herbs in pots. And the winter herbs are dill, coriander and chervil, some of my favourites. And this tool from the Mini Multi-Star range makes herb planting a breeze.
It's officially salvia season, and I've been collecting these type of plants for a few years now, as they are fantastic perennials. They're evergreen, so they keep their foliage all year round, and they can flower throughout the year, providing long-term colour. And their flowers are also a great food source for our native bees and friendly pollinators. There is a salvia for almost any spot in the garden, as they can grow in a range of different soil structures and they can tolerate varying sunlight. Often for really good flower shows, they are best grown in full sun. And don't forget to give them a feed. An application in spring and autumn will do just the trick. Many salvias flower throughout the spring and autumn months, providing long-term colour. And when they do finish flowering, don't forget to give them a prune. This way it will encourage nice vigorous growth and future flowers.
From all of us here at Weekend Today, a huge congratulations to Trevor and the Garden Gurus team on your 20th anniversary. What a milestone. Well done.
There are all sorts of reasons to have a lush, healthy lawn. It looks great, complements your home and garden, and is a source of pride and joy. And such a lawn has other benefits too. It's way better equipped to outcompete weeds. Bindi is a notoriously nasty weed with spiked seeds that can pierce the skin, inflicting serious pain on the unsuspecting barefooter, bringing them down quite easily. I saw Trev go down after multiple piercings, and I tell you what, folks, for a minute there I thought I was going to have to ring an ambulance. Rest assured, he's got no bindis in his lawn. You see, prevention is always the key. Bindi thrives in hard, compacted soils, and those mown too low, allowing it to spread and thrive with more light. Aerate the lawn regularly, keep the lawn longer through winter when Bindi develops, and fertilise regularly for a healthy, nutritious lawn that will naturally outcompete weeds. There are also excellent Bindi treatments, and now, through winter to early spring, is the best period to get on top of Bindi. Scott's Lawn Builder Bindi Weed Killer is the perfect spray for eliminating Bindi, getting your lawn ready for next season's warmer months. It will also deal with a range of other annoying lawn weeds. Application is easily done with your normal garden hose. Just read the instructions and you're off and spraying. You can use the spray at any time of year when clover and other broadleaf weeds are growing. And remember that Bindi is actively growing from autumn to spring, which is the best time to spray it.
If you're a keen gardener, you will have heard of the no-dig gardening technique. It's fundamentally built around the belief that cultivating soil is unnecessary, and that by layering organics and compost over the soil, you build up highly productive layers. There's a lot to it when you realise that the majority of plants' feeder roots sit in the top 400 mil or so of soil. The idea that the zone is rich in composted organics makes a lot of sense. So, this really relies on one of those principles of permaculture. It's called chop and drop. And it's all about just chopping up all this organic matter, getting it into the soil. In fact, the more carbon in the soil, well, the better the home is for beneficial soil microbes. It's all about creating a healthy soil biome so that the roots of your plants are as healthy as they can be. Gardening companies are constantly researching and developing naturally based products for people to use as a way of getting better results. Sometimes this is extremely beneficial in other ways, like potting mixes, taking organics out of the waste stream cycle, avoiding landfill. And sea salt, being created from giant kelp washed up on the beaches of King Island. This would have probably rotted away previously, but its enormous health benefits are now available to plants. A wonderful plant health tonic. When you talk about innovation, the guys at Sea Salt did something that's pretty remarkable. They came up with a liquid compost. So what you do with this is you mix it into a watering can, you top it up with water and you splash it over the top of the garden beds. There's no mixing all your composts up, having to put them into wheelbarrows, throw them over the top and all the different layers with this. It's quite literally a hose-on effect. And what it does, well, it conditions the soil. It enriches the soil for microbes and even earthworms, and most importantly, it gets your plants off to the best possible start. And all you've got to do is just literally spread it over the top, just like that. After a long hot summer, applying compost now is really smart, but applying it as a liquid, now that's even smarter. Well, that's all we've got for you this week on The Garden Gurus. I hope you enjoyed the show. Good news is we are back next week. And if you want any information from today's show, all you have to do is check out our website. Of course, it's a great resource. It's got fact sheets and videos and great links to wonderful gardening ideas everywhere. Or if you've got a question you would like to ask, all you have to do is become a friend on Facebook. And of course, we have our Facebook Live every Monday morning where we're answering your questions live. I'm Trevor Cochrane. I'll see you with all the gang next week for The Garden Gurus.